Good afternoon. I am Ofochi Benjamin Atagana, an indigene of Obiaruku, the headquarters of Ukwuani government area. I want to quickly address three critical issues flowing from the press statement released by Ndokwa Neku Union, published on the Facebook page of Ukwuani Trumpet. But before I proceed, I want to quickly introduce myself in my Ukwuani dialect, because I know some people will want to argue whether or not I am an Ukwuani man. Mbejidbu nwa Ukwuani Efambo Fochi Benjamin Atagana. Imusumbu imusu Atagana ni okuzo n'ime Obiaruku. So whoever wants to contest the authenticity of my origin can go to my family, which I mentioned is a prominent family in Obiaruku, show them this video, and your doubt will be cleared. So the first issue I want to address is the title of the press statement, which is Ndokwa Neku Union distances and rejects the outcome of the sham public hearing on Anioma state creation. This is unfortunate. I believe that Ukwuani and Ndokwa people are well educated. We are well educated. So for somebody or a group to release this statement calling a national exercise that was not just conducted in the southeast, but was conducted in all 6 geopolitical zones as sham, it shows that either the person or the group do not know what they are doing, with all due respect. Because the exercise was not for Anioma state creation alone. The exercise was in pursuant of the review of the 1999 Constitution. There are several bills that the distinguished senators of the 10th Senate have sponsored that have far-reaching consequence to the 1999 Constitution. So, as customary, there is the need to allow citizens to make input. One of the bills is for the creation of an Anioma state, sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko. First and foremost, I was a delegate on behalf of an organization I am a trustee to, Ndi Nasubia Cultural Organization. So I did not go as a delegate for Senator Ned, because I know some of you will make the argument that I am defending Senator Ned. No, I am setting the record straight. That exercise was not a sham. It was not a sham, as it was conducted all over the 6 geopolitical zones. That of South-South was held at Ikotekpene in Akwa Ibom State. The second issue I want to raise, I want to address as raised by Ndokwa Neku Union, is the issue in paragraph 2 of the press statement, which says it may interest the general public to note that Ndokwa Neku Union delegates who represented the voice of Ukwuani and Indosumili people of Delta North Senatorial District was not allowed to speak at the purported public hearing at Uyo. Nothing can be further from the truth. Bikoni nde nanachi anyị ni Ndokwa Neku. If you do not have the facts, don't come to the public to make a mess of yourself. Don't come to the public to make a mess of yourselves. We, the Ukwuanis, we take pride in the fact that we are well educated. We hold our grounds anywhere we go to. So for a so-called apex organization representing us to release this is a shame, and it speaks to the level of leaders we have leading us as Ndokwa Neku Union. It's a shame. I felt embarrassed with this because I was there. I was there at Ikote Bene. I was there at the venue. I was there. The senator that led the proceedings of the public hearing was Senator Dixon, the former governor of Bayelsa State. He's on record that in the course of the proceedings, it was clearly announced that this event was not only for Anioma state creation, that there are several other items, there are several other bills. Of course, it was an event organized for 6 of the South states, 6. So it was not just for Anioma. But interestingly, typical of us, the Anioma people, we represented well because we have been agitating for this. Our ancestors, our forebears, started agitation even before the creation of Midwest region, before the creation of Bender State, before the creation of Delta State. Those of us who know the history, it is dear to our heart. So we ensure that we represented. So when it was clear to the organizers that the people of Anioma are in their numbers with uncountable memoranda to be submitted, they announced that they will only take few persons to come to the podium to present, that every other group that needs to present memorandum or memoranda should present it with the committee in charge. I was supposed to present on behalf of my organization. But because there was no time after that announcement, we had to go and submit other groups, not just us, to submit the memoranda, the various memoranda to the committee. So to now come to the public to claim that the delegates of Ndokwa Neku were not allowed is false. It is false. It is an aberration for a so-called sociocultural organization to come to public to tell lies. If you were not there, tell us you were not there. If you were there, give the record straight. Your integrity and integrity of Ukwuani people matters most, not politics. Not politics. The last issue I want to address is the issue that has been the main contention. I have noticed that Ndokwa Neku Union and many Ukwuani people and Ndosumili people who are opposed to Anioma are not actually opposing Anioma state creation, but are opposing the fact that Anioma state creation, when it is achieved, will be added to the southeast. To me, it is unfortunate that my people decide to play politics in the wrong way, in an absolutely wrong way. I have had the opportunity of traveling to several parts of Ukwuani Land and Ndosumili. Each time I travel, I literally weep, I literally cry. Enya miri na wam, ma kwekwa. Because I have had the privilege of traveling around this country, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. I have had the privilege of traveling. And I know the level of development other areas have attained. But in the entire length and breadth of Ukwuani Land, the entire length and breadth of Ukwuani Land, there is no development at all. Until the establishment of an act for University of Medical and Health Sciences, Kwale, the only federal presence and state presence in the entire Ukwuani Land, I stand to be corrected, was the Kwale prison. The Kwale prison. And the few hospital management board for the state, like the one we have in the general hospital we have in Obiaroko, aside those, there was no single, until date, there is no single state presence, no infrastructure in Ukwuani Land. Our Ukwuani leaders have been playing politics of self-aggrandizement. It is sad to say it. I don't want to mention their names, but you all know them. We have had a senator representing Delta North from Ukwuani Land. We have had House of Representative members. We have had State Assembly members. These persons, they were sleeping when other tribes, other ethnic groups were being given state attention. We have schools. Delta State has one of the highest number of schools, but none is in Ukwuani Land. Is that not sad? What have we benefited in South? What have we benefited despite our contribution? Despite our contribution to Ukwuani, to Delta and Nigeria, what have we benefited being in South geopolitical zone? Is it about being in South or about attracting development to Ukwuani Land? If our preoccupation as Ukwuani leaders or as Ukwuani people is where Anioma should be, then it shows that we don't know what we want as a people. And that is sad. That is sad. So on the issue of whether we are going to remain in South-South or South-East, I want to tell us that what should be paramount to us is the actualization of Anioma State and the development of Ukwuani Land. If Anioma State, being in Southeast, is going to bring development to Anioma Land, why should our leaders, why should an Ukwuani person be opposed to it? What have we benefited? It breaks my heart. It pains me. But it is important that we address issues like this. Is Ukwuani Land more developed than communities, than the ethnic groups in the Southeast? No. I have traveled the Southeast. There's no part of Ukwuani Land that is more developed than the Southeast geopolitical zone. Because if you are avoiding someone, you should be avoiding the person because you are better than the person. You cannot be avoiding people who are better than you. Let's face the fact. There's no shame in telling yourself who you are. There's no shame in telling yourself where you currently stand. We shouldn't deceive ourselves anymore. We shouldn't deceive ourselves anymore. If Anioma is achieved and we take joining it to Southeast, I think we, the Ukwuani people, because of our backwardness, we should be the one that should be championing this. Are we better than the Oshimili people and the Anyocha people? Are we better than them? Are we better than them? Because the Oshimili and the Anyocha people, they are not opposed to all of these arguments they are not arguing all of these arguments that our people are arguing. Yet, they have more state presence, more federal presence in their communities. But we that do not have anything, we are the ones arguing about whether it should be in South-South or South-East. What have we achieved with Ukwuani being in South-South, with Ndosumili being in South-South? Tell yourself the truth. Welile gwezedi nono. Kebu, the Kebu informal basani na Ukwuani nese shanye dini South-South. What benefit has it brought to us? Should it be that we are arguing where Anioma should be, or we should be arguing that development should be brought to our communities? It is sad. But if you ask me, and I have always argued this, that even if it will take joining Anioma to the north, as long as it will bring development to Ukwuani Land, let Anioma be joined. But come to think of it, do we in any way relate, whether by language or by culture, to any other geopolitical zone apart from the Southeast? Our neighbors, the Urhobos, are we in any way related with them? Do we have anything in common? Our neighbors, the Isokos, do we have anything in common with them? But move to the Southeast. Move to that Southeast that you are opposing. You will see that there is no difference between you and them. There's no difference between your language and them. There's no difference between your culture and them. Why are you opposed to being joined to the Southeast? Because of time, I want to say this again. Those people leading us in Ndokwa Neku, you guys have, for far too long, you have played politics with the destiny of Ukwuani and Ndosumili people. It is about time you all stopped playing politics with us. The development of Ukwuani and Ndosumili should be what you should prioritize. You should prioritize the development of Ukwuani. This Ndokwa Neku, where were the leaders of Ndokwa Neku when communities in Ukwuani Land stayed for 15 years, 16 years without electricity? Nobody said anything. None of you said anything. But it's convenient to come out today and begin to oppose what will bring progress to Ndokwa Land. Please, please, we have to tell ourselves the truth. Because, as they say, the truth will set you free. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Mbeneni, Chukwu na-agọzi Ndokwa, Chukwu na-agọzi Ukwuani, Chukwu na-agọzi Ndosumili, Ishegwari, yo.